Let's talk about spray guns for just a moment. This is a 2010 Graco, not a standard issue spray gun, but this is one that I think it's their second tier out of 3 that they sell. We have a handle, a handle on your palm. We have the finger grip, which is 4 fingers, and they have the brand new Graco pin, which has packing and everything in here. And what the packing does with this new one is that the paint will not directly touch the packing, thereby extending the life of the rubber and the gun itself. Now let's talk about paint for just a moment, okay? Matter can either be created or destroyed. Par physics, which means if I have a gallon of paint and it has 40% water, that 40% water is going to evaporate into air, and the paint will be on whatever building it is. But the weight of the whole thing will be the same. It just will be changed. Matter will be changed. The thing is that without water as the agent that liquefies the paint and puts it onto the house, then all you'd have is a bunch of powder. So this powder is very abrasive. It's very abrasive to the packings in here, from here all the way to here. There's a pin in here. It's also very abrasive to the tips. This is one of the tips that this gun came with. Now, if you look at the big G, it means Graco. This is the inlet of the tip right here, and you can see the outlet. Now, if you'll notice, this is steel. But if you turn it over and you notice, the outlet is brass, just like in a 2-stroke nozzle. And what they do is they have different types of tips. They have fine finish and they have regular tips. This one right here, and it's signified by a 515. Now that's kind of a little code word, but once you understand the code, it's pretty good. What the 5 means is that there's 2 numbers. The first number, you have to, when you're going to shoot, you have to double it. It's all based by per foot. If you are 1 foot away from the area to be sprayed, you double the first number, and that will be 10. Okay, and then you look at the second number, and it says 15. So it should say 0.15. So at 10 inches, this nozzle will spray a pattern that, at 1 foot, this nozzle will spray a pattern that is 10 inches wide and is putting out 0.15 orifice of paint. Now remember, the law, the rule, the golden rule of painting is to get the damn paint on the surface. If you have a big dog, that's what I call them, gas sprayer, which I have seen, and sprayers come in very different, they come from very small amounts that they can push out per square minute to a very lot they can push out per square minute. So that's why the tips are the way they are. It's with the Gracos make the best tips, but what I'm trying to say is this: you're basically pushing water and a sand-like material with all the paint through this orifice, and it will not hurt this side of the orifice, but sooner or later it will start. After so many gallons, it will, as sand always does, it will enlarge this to where it's not it's no good anymore. That's why we use this 515 is good for outside houses. Now, another tip I use, and I've got this tip box. This was by one of my enemies that I didn't like it, hated the guy, but I learned from him. Now there are many, many different types of tips as far as size. This one right here is a 210. And usually I keep all of mine really, really clean, because if I'm going to paint, that's what it is. This one right here is a 410. Now it's green. Now what green means is it's fine finish, or it's not meant to do the space shuttle. It's meant to do like trim small pieces. Now if we do our calculations right, it says 410. We double the 4. Okay, so we have 8. That means at 1 foot away from the object, 1 foot from between here and this camera, this 410, if you double the first one, will fire an 8-inch pattern. 8-inch. And it will also fire the pattern at 0.10 inches. Okay? 0.10 is it means the size of the orifice. So what we have here was we have 515, which is calculatable to be, this tip orifice is 1.5 times larger in diameter on the inside than this one here. So this will put out more paint. This is for fine finish work. Then you want to talk about airless, not airless sprayers, but air assisted, and that's the whole different story. But what we have also, as long as we're studying our equipment here, we have, with the sprayer, we have a body handle here that holds the upper final filter. And filters can be got in 60 mesh or 100 mesh, depending on the paint that you're working with. Because you can work with lacquers that are very, very, very viscous, or you can work with heavy enamels, which are a pain in the ass. Now, with most Titans, this is a Titan. This is a Titan spray head, and these are Titan tips. Now, Titans come with their sprayers, which I have a Titan sprayer, and generally they give these damn things away because real painters don't use them. It's not that they're bad or anything. It really isn't. Now, what this one is, the purple denotes something, but like you see, it says 510, which means at a foot away from the wall, it's going to shoot a 10-inch wide spray, and it will shoot it through a 0.10 orifice. And these are not bad tips at all, except that everyone I know uses Graco. These just come with the guns. We use them for spares. And of course, these are turnaround deals too. And this one is a, if you'll notice, it's a 515. That means it's the same as this one, but it will put out 10 inches and it will put out 0.15, which this purple corresponds with the fine finish here. Now, if we know what the numbers mean, then we know what to expect. This here is a Graco head unit right here for the gun. Now it fits right there. Okay. This here is your Titan that comes with their guns. Now it will fit just the same. They're very, very close to. It's all universally fit. But when you're spraying a large building and when you're spraying 200-300 gallons of paint, you want to know what the hell you're doing. And these tips only last so long because, as I said, the water and the viscous material that these guns shoot out will eventually open the orifice more and more and more on the tip down here, and it won't be a tip anymore. It's a mess. It takes a long time to do, but a good painter's got to recognize that. So these are the things that we look at on a stock spray gun. And this Graco is a 2010, and it has the new, this has a new needle design. And with the needle design, basically what it means to a painter or non-professional painter is that when you let go of the handle, it won't spit out. Okay, we have a problem, sometimes they spit. Well, if you're doing doors or fine finish, something or other, you don't want any kind of spit marks, because it's just, you don't want that at all. Now with the tip box, this is one of the things I learned at Four Seasons, was you have a good sprayer, whatever it is, yourself, and your tip box contains rebuild kits for your Titan. What's it in there? Okay, throat oil, which we use on the throat seal liquid, which is used on the piston. It also has certain really nice, these are Graco cleaners right here, and they're very expensive, so they let it rip you off. It does. Here, if you'll notice, I'll take them out, but there are some more tips for the Titan line. I'm not sure what size here, but they gave them to me free with my sprayer, so I kept them. They're not bad at all, but the professional painter always trusts Graco. Graco. This gun here was about probably $125 right here. Now it's four-fingered, which means you can grab a hold of that bitch and get a lot of pull on it. And this is a common gun. A lot of painters don't pay attention to the gun. I pay attention to every little thing because of the weakest link. Now this here is an extension. Graco makes a lot of extensions that fit on the end of the gun here. Like this. In case that you don't want to go up and down a ladder and everything else, and then you put your tip right here on the end. Now that's all well and good, and it is all well and good, but remember, for every action there is a reaction. For every advantage there is an unadvantage. And the advantage that you're going to have at pinpoint shooting with your eye a foot away from the surface is going to be different when it's extended for a foot and a half. So you won't have to climb the ladder that much with this extension. But remember, these extensions can go on 10 feet. You have to be down here wielding this gun and looking up and seeing, is that where I want to put it? It's a trade-off. Now our next thing we're going to talk about is the best of the best Graco guns and why they're different. Now, people prefer this or people prefer that. That's no problem. But if we don't know about them and no one tells us about them, except for the company reps, then what do we really know? Okay, on to the best Graco sold today.